I am joined by the gorgeous Nicole Russo de Souza. Hello, Nicole. Come and tell people what it is that you do in the world and how you found me.
Sure. Hi. So my name is Nicole Russo de Souza. I am a myofascial release practitioner, a self-love mentor, and a soon-to-be author. And I found Joanna through another Facebook group. She was posting about her amazing success. And I was really drawn to her positive energy and also her success. And I was like, wow, who's this lady? I'm going to check her out. And so I was looking at her posts and stuff like that, and I started to follow her. And when the pandemic hit, I had to shut down my physical business. And I found some more time to sort of, roam around on Facebook, and Joanna came up again. And at that point, it just felt like the right timing to start some coaching with her. And so that's how I originally found her.
Love it. So we have been on quite the journey together. It's been absolutely phenomenal because we started coaching. And when we first started coaching, obviously we have got this bit of an in your brick and mortar businesses with the fact that the pandemic is going on. So of course that is going to be nerve-wracking for anybody that had a brick and mortar business during that time and stuff. And then also as well, there was this whole other side that you wanted to explore as well, with like maybe looking at online business and things like that. Tell us a little bit about that journey of working through, because I think you were trying to hold like multiple things all at once.
Yeah. I feel like you were so much help with that, because when we did do the coaching we started off with the brick and mortar businesses. And it's kind of funny because after all the ideas were discussed, I ended up with a migraine, which told me that there was something not quite right about it. I was also at a pretty high stress level at that point. So I just kept sitting with the information that we were working through. And then at that point, I had also signed up for your Divine Planning Abundant Profits course. And my original plan was to sort of expand on these myofascial self-care videos that I had already created a few years prior. And I kept getting stuck, and I kept listening to you and listening to you go live. And I just saw this excitement about what you were teaching, and that you were saying, you need to be excited about what you're teaching. And I knew that. And I guess I just didn't realize that I wasn't excited enough for these self-care videos. And when I finally let go of that, that is when the idea to finally do the self-love journey and write a book about my self-love journey and start these online classes about marrying myself, that's when the idea was sparked. And I don't think that that ever would have occurred if I hadn't started following you and just seeing your passion for what you're doing. So
I love that. And that's a big part of being in my energy, of being activated into your highest self. And activating it isn't about some sort of cookie cutter formula. It's about you being activated into something that you feel so passionate about, and that sort of emerged from our work together.
Yeah.
So I love it. I love where the direction of everything. So you're about to launch your first book. Tell us all about that. And
yeah, I am.
Where we're going to be able to get this.
So hopefully on Amazon in the new year. We're going through the second editing process right now, and the book cover design and all of that jazz. And I'm looking for my advanced readers to do reviews for me so that we're all set and ready to launch. And yeah, so I'm hoping that I can get this published before baby comes, because this year I also got pregnant. And actually too, when I joined the $1 Million Experiment, I think it was then, or through our coaching, you were talking about learning how to delegate. And I made the decision. I learned the information from you about delegating, and I made that decision, I felt like you were really helpful for me to give me the strength to make the decision to just start delegating to my team that I had already set up for my brick and mortar business. I just wasn't trusting them to run with it. And that was a huge component of this year and my success, and having the time to be able to write the book, because I let them take the reins and they did an amazing job. And I have this team that I just feel so blessed about. The people that came back after we reopened are just the perfect people. And I really think that has to do with working with you and spending so much time listening to you and aligning to the right energies to be able to let go of things that were no longer working for me. So I actually made more money this year working less in my brick and mortar business. So that works for me.
That works for me too. I love that. It's so good. It's so good. So one of the things that I remember that conversations very well of the delegation, because you had this team that could do stuff, and yet there was this, I could just see the energy was so tight. It was like you were holding on so tightly, and I was like, okay, can we lift these little fingers off this so that we can let it flow a little bit more? And leaning into the trust. And we had some like really powerful conversations about stepping into delegating with, and trusting other people, which is I think that's probably one of the biggest things that anybody that owns any type of business, whether brick and mortar, or it's like when your business is a bit like your baby, trusting someone else with it, it's kind of difficult. And and that was one of the things, but that's what we also need in order to just create a business that's leveraged in time freedom, that we can have other people that can do parts of the business and and stuff like that. So I think that was a huge shift in working together and stuff. So tell us about we had a self-love retreat this year. At home retreat was one of my real kind of bucket list things that I wanted to do. I had this idea of sending these amazing goodie boxes out to people, filled with love and just amazing little things that they would need for the retreat. And then doing a 2-day at home retreat and really being like really anchoring in the vibes, being in the vibes, beautiful vibes for like 2 days. And during that retreat, tell us a little bit about your experience with the retreat first, because that was a lot of fun.
Sure. Yeah, I loved it. I loved getting a present from you and all the different fun things in there. That was way exciting. And then I love being able to share in a smaller group setting and being able to connect with some of the other members of your community, because we are so similar. And I feel like we all have a similar things we're working through, similar energy vibes. So I really love that, because we're all over the world and yet we're still working towards the same goal and mission, which is to, I think, help other people and to realign our planet towards love, towards light, towards excitement. So experiencing the self-love retreat, it was just so great to be able to gift myself that opportunity to sit down that long and to spend that time on me, to journal, and then to connect with others about the journaling. It gave a witness to the journaling. Yeah.
Amazing.
I loved it.
And then during the self-love retreat, you had a realization that you'd hit a rather large income goal as well.
Yeah.
Just a little nugget of an income goal.
Yeah. So I was sitting there, and I think the $1 million experiment had come up for discussion. And then I had just had a phone call with my bookkeeper, and we were going over numbers. And I was like, I think we hit $1 million. I'm going to go look. And I did. And literally on the break of the self-love retreat, I had hit $1 million. And I was like, this is crazy.
You've also got to remember that Nicole is a self-love coach. So like, I was just like, of course, if you were going to hit $1 million, where would it be? In a self-love retreat? Like,
exactly. Yeah, it was great.
In ease, joy, and flow. And as you said, you've worked less this year, you've earned more, you've hit a massive income goal, which, I mean, we are celebrating you for that, but also as well for all of the massive internal shifts to get you there to do that in more ease, joy, and flow. I know next year is going to be taken up with having a baba, but what are your plans? Like, when we're not when we're not being full-time mommy, is world domination, taking over the galaxy? What are we planning here?
Yeah, so I know that most of my time will be taken up with the new baby, but my next goal is really to dive deep into my self-love online teachings. So I created a Facebook group and really spend a lot of time in there to grow that community. I want to spread that love to other people, because loving yourself is it's hard to understand. So it's like you need to use a lot of different vocabulary words and a lot of different stories for people to get what that means. Because when you live inside yourself, you can't see the forest for the trees. And so loving yourself doesn't make sense sometimes. And I really want to help people understand what that really means, so that they can start to do it and feel good. Because when I did not love myself, I didn't feel good. And
yeah, I think that's a big thing for people, isn't it? And I love how you described that it's a very odd thing for people, because I think a lot of people think that self-love is like a bubbly bath. And although that helps towards the process, it is a tiny, tiny little fraction of that,
Yeah, it's really mindset, because it's like you can go take that bubble bath, but if you feel guilty about it, it's not self-love. But if you're like, I deserve this break, that's love, I just had a conversation with my sister about that yesterday. We're just so hard on ourselves all the time. And so I think that was a huge shift with you as well. Just going through my own self-love journey, but then to apply this to my business, to let go of my business and let it grow on its own, and know that I don't have to do it all, that I deserve this success.
Music to my ears. We can be divinely supported. We can put the right people in the right jobs. We can hold such bigger visions for ourselves. We do not need to be the people that do it all. It's so powerful. Oh my goodness. If anyone's listening to this, Nicole, and they're sat on the fence and they're wondering about, they're sat on the fence and they're wondering about, coming to work with me or joining the BeMagic year, because you walked the whole year with us as well. And, what would you say to someone like that?
Do it. Just do it. Don't worry about the money. The money will come. That was one thing I was thinking about at the beginning of the year, to do the whole year with you. My brain started like, oh, what if you can't afford it? You don't know what this year is going to look like, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, you know what? I can't afford not to, because the time that I've already spent with you gave me such massive shifts and ideas for what I wanted in my life, that I knew that it would just work out. And it continues to work out. And I think that the feeling that I have this year, as opposed to other years in my past, the feeling of being supported, the feeling of being taken care of, and being able to pursue the true dreams that I want to pursue, is worth it 10 times over.
Amazing. Oh my God. That is just giving me all the feels. I love it. Thank you so much for coming to talk to us today, Nicole. I so appreciate you, and I have just absolutely loved witnessing you blossom and bloom, and we are celebrating you so hard for all of your massive shifts and everything, and for being one of our 7-figure entrepreneurs. I mean, that is a huge achievement. I mean, it's massive, and we are so proud of you, and just everything that you've walked with. It's so incredible.
Thank you. I very much appreciate you.
Oh, thank you.